So the thing about having a sourdough starter like Susie here is you end up with quite a bit of discard, and I really need to use this up. So today we're making sourdough cinnamon apple muffins. Let's get into it. First off, we're going to make our streusel topping by adding 30 grams of melted unsalted butter, 50 grams of brown sugar, 40 grams of almond flour, and 40 grams of rolled oats to a bowl. We're going to mix all of this till well combined and then set aside. Next, we'll combine all of our dry ingredients into a large bowl, which will be 150 grams of flour, 50 grams of sugar, 6 grams of baking powder, 5 grams of salt, and 4 grams of cinnamon. Whisk until combined and then add 150 grams of apple. I used a medium honey crisp that has been peeled and diced into about 1/4 inch pieces. Mix until the apple is well coated with the flour mixture and then set aside. Finally, we'll combine our wet ingredients, which will be 200 grams of sourdough discard, 2 eggs, 100 grams of vegetable oil, and 5 grams of vanilla. Whisk this well until the oil has been well incorporated and the mixture is smooth, and then set aside. Now that we have our wet and dry ingredients together, we're going to pour our wet ingredients into the dry and mix until just combined, as we don't want to overmix and get tough muffins. We'll set this aside for a minute and grab our greased muffin tin, which we have sprayed down with some oil, and then spoon our muffin batter into each hole. You should have enough batter to fill each of them up about 3/4 of the way full. Give the tin a tap to make sure that the batter is evenly distributed, and then grab the streusel mixture and top each muffin with about a tablespoon of the topping. Pop these in a 350-degree oven for 20 minutes or until golden brown. Now, despite greasing the pan, these did stick a little bit, particularly at the top, so I ran a knife around each muffin and then popped them out to finish cooling on a wire rack. Also be careful when transferring them, as the topping was a little loose, but I didn't totally mind, as it made for a nice snack before getting to dig into the muffins themselves. And there we have it, sourdough cinnamon apple muffins. Let's give these guys a taste. So I'm very interested to see how these sourdough apple cinnamon muffins turned out. As they were baking, the smells coming out of the oven were actually quite savory because of the sourdough discard. So I think we're gonna have a really interesting balance of flavors. So let's try this. One word, tangy. I do think that the streusel topping and the apples do actually a really nice job of balancing all the funkiness from the sourdough discard. And I actually think there's a really nice textural difference between the topping and the apples and everything. This is a really good muffin. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, 100% would make this again. Let me know if you make this.